description. The leading company secures a special deal with the government that pays them twice the normal tariff for delivering wind power. Consumers and industrial power customers are upset that their energy bills will rise by 20% to pay for the subsidy. For options. A, let the decision stand, since the subsidies are the only way to ensure that the generators build the wind farm. B, lower the subsidy in response to industrial and residential power consumer demands, risking the possibility that power generators will continue to build coal and gas-fired plants instead of wind. C, commission an academic panel to produce a report outlining the social, environmental, and economic balance. D, players decide. There's still many other options apparently possible.
So this is at any cost, is the sort of the direction of the policy?
Not at any cost.
Not at any cost.
Okay, so they sell the power to the government. They deposit their and the price goes up.
So we discussed it.
I'm responsible about this decision. I'm responsible about this decision that we discussed in the group in Denmark and plan, and the only way is to go in renewables. We have to get high subsidies, because if you take into consideration of the internal cost, still the cheapest one is to go this way. Otherwise we fall down in the coal and things like that.
No, but as a user, I'm sorry, it's just not possible. It's times for the price of it. Why has this association we will not
I'm BBC that times are hard, and they can get even more harder if you don't take the same steps. I'm sorry about that. We have to even lower the pensions and raise taxes probably. And that's the way to go. I just visited the neighbor country Estonia. They are doing these things, and that's the way to keep it in the line.
And when's the next election?
Policy and subsidies, the scale of the wind farm, particularly contentious issues for residents, visitors, and tourists. It's going to be the scale, sheer size of these wind farms, and noise. And I prefer a different subsidy structure which would encourage smaller wind farms and more community-based wind farms with benefits.
I would endorse that. As a community, we would much rather have, instead of monstrosities in our backyards, we would much rather have the...
Our position is in favour of wind farms, very much so. Not in the manner in which they are currently being
But that's the question of the choices. I mean, if you have smaller turbines, you just need more space for them. I'm alright as a developer, technology person. If you have 10 megawatts turbine land, it's better when you have 10 1 megawatt turbines. So it's anyway, the technology today is better than yesterday. We have to follow this technology.
If we want to reach the goals of how much capacity we want, then we have small wind farms into the planet. We just don't have the capacity in terms of places to have those small wind farms.
Which not one or the other. There are spaces where there's less impact on local residents. So
Exactly.
That's the topic actually. We talked about the dinner. We are of course speaking in the open crowd. We spoke about it. It's Estonia Minister of Environment and Economy, and they have the same problems. They don't like the wind turbines there. we say that we can pay as Denmark can support Estonian social things like that, just small money, and we can put our turbines there. But they understand the idea, and they say no. They get clever every day.
Do you have already an indication where those turbines will be located?
In Denmark. It's unfortunately it's in our backyard, because we have just.
Are you going to put more in the national parks?
My minister's position is very much related to the noise issue. So when I'm talking about very different subsidy structure for smaller distributed wind farms, I would support large wind turbines if you're offered, but only if you could guarantee certain noise thresholds are going to be met, which I accept that might cost an awful lot in R&D to get to that point. It strikes me at the moment where we know that small wind turbines will guarantee those noise thresholds. And I can say that it is within my power to change the noise threshold to make it legal for businesses. So I do think we can do better for everybody to agree with that. But if we can't,
because as a resident in this area already, I can't sleep. My cat's gone to sleep, and I don't know what to do. I've been to the doctor and it's costing money, and my life has been ruined by these turbines. I look out of my window and what do
I have a cat too. His cats are really nice animals.
That waves the noise and the vibration, and my house prices.
he knows where your cat is because I believe
She used to be in a circus.
2 o'clock in the morning he found your cat.
Yes. I'm going to write to my parliamentarian because we are going to object. As ratepayers, we are very unhappy. And we are going to write to and put in some activism and write to our parliamentarian. And if we have to, we will go and advocate in the square against these anti-capital conventions.
Block the cycle lanes.
Block the lanes.
Yeah.
That's the possible way, but I think we have to find the win-win solution, and I'm totally agree with that your idea, and we have decided in the cabinet actually that technology is one of the ways, and we have to make it less noise, and to find the possibility to switch it off sometimes. It's cost enormously much to switch it off, but that's the way to do it.
But how will this be assured? I mean, we support, my NGO supports the alternative energy sources, and green energy sources, but we want to make sure that when these things, as these are developed, they're developed in an environmentally responsible manner, and we want to make sure that, yes, you say good things now, but let's say you're no longer the minister next,
I have enough money already.
go to Estonia, buy a villa. We are stuck with both you and you get me placed. You seem sympathetic now to our concerns, but we want to make sure this is written into the regulations.
The regulations are the preparation.
Preparation.
Yeah, under preparation.
Okay.
Continuously.
We happen to participate in that preparation.
And how much did Siemens pay you
Let's shift in the serious topics. But about money and who pays to whom, I think we have to change a little bit our tax system. The one problem is that the local authorities get less money in this solution, big turbines. So we have planned to make this Minister of Economy. You may have also this meeting we discussed. Maybe you don't remember.
I was there.
That to collect some money from the wind parks and to spread it in the local authority to mitigate it somehow.
But you've been talking to the local authority, but we the community have not been consulted. In Denmark, we have environmental impact
We think they
assessment
should be
legislation. Where we haven't been consulted? Where are the planners? Nobody's come to consult us.
But we also don't think you should be bought off.
Huh?
We don't think you should be buying off people. You should be reducing the effects.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about planner. Planner was chosen by open tender. The offer was the cheapest one, best one. By the planner.
And who's paying it?
Government, of course.
Not the consultant to
Because of conflict of interest.
The reality is that we don't have access to a stable energy price, because irrespective of whether it goes up because of wind or it goes up because of carbon pricing, it's out there going to go up.
Yes, but then the issue perhaps they should pay additional money specifically for
Choosing wind as opposed to some sort of external influence.
I mean, in this case, ministry imposes this cost to me, and I don't want that. I mean, if some people from Saudi Arabia, they raise their prices, I cannot do anything against it. I'm a taxpayer here in this country, and I don't want it. I have to pay twice. Once taxes for my country, and then they spend this money to raise my price for energy again. How do you expect it?
But do you want to have a cleaner environment? Are you also willing to pay for that?
Well, let everybody pay, not
And it can
just
be state subsidized. And you have to take care of because we are dealing with producing and manufacturing in a global market, and we want this local turbine manufacturers to build this wind farm. We don't want people from around the world coming in and take jobs and all the balance that
Because
comes with it.
you're employing all these taxpayers.
So we don't want more higher tariffs. We want more state subsidized manufacturing, producing renewable energy.
But my children are farmers, they're not engineers. You don't employ them. You're just taking away their revenue by doing all these terrible things, and cows are dying and they don't give enough milk and all that stuff. I mean, I don't want this advice. You're not going to
Okay, alright.
I also don't see why we necessarily have to go down the route of these doubling of subsidy, which would encourage the large turbines and large wind farms, presumably. That's the purpose behind the subsidy, in order to speed up the delivery of the target. In a sense, why we can't actually be looking at trying to encourage more community-level wind turbine which in a sense is going back to the old model that we used to have in community-based wind turbines. The real challenge that we can see is that if we go down actually much more opposition from homeowners, from NGOs, and actually with a community-based approach, there would be more acceptance because you are dealing at a scale which was an acceptable scale. So I would question whether we necessarily need to go. We should be going down the route, just doubling the subsidies, doubling the tariff.
But I think one of the parties is not around here, although we have other questions for them. It's the finance and economic development part, the finance minister. Nobody's representing it here. But they want to safeguard economic development in the future. And if you try to give this subsidies, where does it come from? It doesn't generate jobs. So it is just a loss of some of the economic development. So in my climate and energy ministry,
But it does generate more jobs. A huge industry with building wind power plants, and it's a lot of money for the country and also the local community.
I think you import them mostly from Germany.
No, they're manufacturing. They're producing the
And
stuff.
if their manufacturing business is reinforced, then they may well become an exporter as well, which generates more jobs. So
So the state has to come in and subsidize more than raising the what?
Why do you think subsidizing usage is successful?
Because we're in it's almost impossible for us to have economic good projects without being subsidized. It's the technology it's not come far enough for us to have projects with good profit without any help from.
We can't sell if it's not subsidized.
Who's selling the power? Is that already decided? Is it purely for the government, or is the manufacturer also getting a percentage?
The power company will receive the subsidy, and there will no doubt be some negotiation between the power company and the manufacturer about how that money is spent. Gigi, what do you want to say?
I'd like to say something to the Minister of Environment, and I think noise it is a problem for the local community. I totally understand it. I mean, as the authority, I think you should update your noise standard. If the manufacturer really wants to go into this market, they have to update how advanced their technology to make it more acceptable for the community.
In a way, that is the quid pro quo, if you like, for changing double the subsidies to benefits, then they should have some responsibility to improve the noise profile of those turbines as well. In which case, that would require us to lower refresh in terms of the allowable noise. And I think that's something that we would certainly be sympathetic to and would look at engaging with the climate and energy ministry to seek to try to
You're probably better have some engagement with the residents to find out how they think it's a little bit debate.
But I think we'd see that as a for that subsidy, so lowering of the threshold.
Actually, I just heard told that I'm a proxy for the finance ministry as well.
Oh, okay.
It means that I have to.
So you can give with one hand and take with the other.
Well, some countries have those ministers join. There is any.
But
let's pretend.
the thing is, you can come up with quite a remarkable subsidy that we cannot afford it. So unless the consumer is paying for it partly, then we can push for some subsidies. Or the manufacturer builds them a little bit cheaper. That's also reducing the subsidies. But we cannot just simply raise the subsidy because it has to come from somewhere.
We're going to be from taxpayers.
I'm worried about anything that might endanger getting that job and that subsidy. You know, and I'm worried that having a commission for further study will weaken the position, weaken the subsidy. And if I don't get this job, I might have to close down, move to Yugoslavia. So, you know, I'm saying that this is, while I take on board your concerns about the wind farm in your house, I also ask you to look at the wider community and the advantage that having this manufacturing plant in your area brings to you.
We need the investment in renewable energy now. And I think...
So you're siding with the turbine manufacturer?
I think the difficulty... Interesting. The difficulty in terms of... the study is that the study bases questions on the future continuation of the subsidy. And if what we don't want is an environmental NGO, is that suddenly in 2 years' time we start lacking it. It's the government issue. We don't want the government to start lacking heavily on those plans. Whilst we have no problem with involving in studies, we're concerned that this is questions.
The decision we might actually at a certain point. So taking his comment into consideration, we start building them on land, but we have an ongoing study, and we pause after a time that we agree upon to make a decision as to whether the subsidy will continue based on the impacts to the local community.
That's interesting for a homeowner, but to me, I don't want the turbine in my cyclone. So I really want to be convinced it's good for the community. There'll be jobs, either for myself or my local jobs, local royalties being paid to the community. I like the idea of
social responsibility and offset community investment.
So tie that into the terms of the study. So in terms of deciding the offering subsidy, we tie in whether that social investment is actually happening.
Yes, we could. Yes, we could. And we got an excellent planner to examine this and bring all the parties together and look at it. And if things are not done correctly by the company, then the subsidy stops.
Because if, decisions about subsidies can be reversed. If the study shows that someone is getting, let's say, I won't be vulgar, who benefits and who pays. If the company gets too much money for what they're giving, that's not. Because as a homeowner, also, I have my own responsibility, but as I said earlier, I'm willing to cut down my energy consumption. If I can cut it down by 20%, which is possible, I can go solar.
I suggest we create a working group in the community with representation from the ministries, representation from my company and from the
led by a community-based group, led by an independent planner.
And we'll go into this because my point is this investment is good for the whole community, and if we lose it, we lose out to Chinese, Indian companies, and there's a detrimental effect to this community. So while I acknowledge there might be concerns from the local, and I acknowledge that we don't know the full impacts, therefore I think this company will be behind commissioning such a report. But I think this company asks in return that the community are supportive of an industry that essentially
implicitly we support the idea of local economic development, but not at any cost. So I would want to be involved in this committee that we're talking about.
And we want transparency on the real production cost,
Exactly.
including the wine and cheese soirees that the CEO inevitably.
that we're giving to this working group.
they all travel first class.
Yeah, that's right. That's
I would
right.
suggest that this company.
In other words, if you're lean and mean,
I'm
as they
just
say in
one
America, you think we can go with the Prime Minister with this plan? Okay.
So if we come to a decision, I think we actually have.
Yes. Sophie and I are going to go to the Prime Minister.
Invite him to the cheese roll.
So, to sum up, we
Let's
created.
help him write it down.
Yeah, please.
Go ahead.
We are creating a new group to see if everything is working well. Also, we are doing the studies, the same thing, right? The community is checking if the studies are going
Is it
well.
transparency?
Yeah. Also, we will check the studies if the cost will be okay and what are the costs and
The economic impact, for example, on our real property values. That's one of my main concerns, property values.
And my concern is that jobs stay local. And
are you willing to sign?
Yes, it's independent. Commissioned by.
And subsidy continues is the kind of key decision, isn't it? So the first part of the decision is the subsidy continues. Then there's this study, which is what we just described. Isn't that what we want?
But we also maintain dialogue and transparency by having.
plan and we'll present the results to the two ministries. We'll present a recommendation to the ministry.
Within 3 months? 6 months?
So I suggested 3 years.
5 years?
3 years.
3 years.
3 years?
But certainly not 3 months.
Sorry?
I'm getting a bit worried about this. In this economic climate, you know, I've got to maintain this.
How many can you build in 3 years? How many can you build in 3 years? How many can you build in 3 years? You're the head of the company. Because
Call
that's
up your engineers.
That's right. Because the assessment is full steam once there is turbines up, and there's that extra 2 years where there's a potential impact on the environment, the social, the cultural, and the physical environment. So I want to know, that's why I need 3 years. So I want to know that you can build efficiently enough turbines so that we have a reasonable study.
Okay, to meet the targets, we need 4,006 megawatt turbines in 9 years. Just outside of my role, just doing the sample, I'm saying the 22 terawatts, roughly 6 megawatts divided down is roughly 4,006 megawatts. 2 turbines. We need to install those to the target in 10 years. So I guess you're looking at producing 400 a year. So that's the interesting effect.
That's one per day.
One per day.
That's one a day.
That's
Like the
Well, this
vitamin.
depends on the community.
That's the manufacturer and assembler.
Yeah. And usually, setting up about 100 turbine park is about a year and a half or something. Close to a year and a half, 2 years. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert.
Yeah, it takes. I think stepping outside the world, and certainly I think the general election in the UK when they had the debate, they were talking about it's like 4,000 onshore, 6,000 onshore, 4,000 offshore, and it was something ridiculous like 1 a day for the next 10 years offshore. Yeah, and something like 1.5 a day.
So I want to know, they have to be part of the study because I want to know what the unit cost is, because it may be that we'll just go to China and save that 20% for education.
Alrighty. Local community, you know, this is going to devastate the employment source in this community, which is fairly dependent on this manufacturing.
What type of jobs are you offering us? Just for the construction? Like
No. This is in the factory itself.
The plant will be set up in our area.
So there will be no reception. I'm running this permanent plant in your community.
Okay.
Actually, in the community.
It's offering employment opportunities.
So that's another
and
factor.
It's offering long-term employment opportunities, not just construction phase, temporary. But it's it could be basically the reason for being for this community, the source of wealth for this community, because it offers employment to skilled jobs.
Getting back to the subsidy thing, as a taxpayer, I'm not too hot about subsidies to private companies because sometimes the numbers can be played with, and it's not. I want complete transparency. If we're giving a 20% subsidy, are we getting enough bang for our buck?
I think the reality is from the environmental NGO point of view, the electricity bills as a household are going to go up anyway because fuel is going to get more expensive as a country's tax. So I think in many ways the subsidy will be a good price worth paying. I think we just need to make sure we control environmental issues when we're actually putting these things in, which is why we're happy with the study that we did to make a decision. Keep the subsidy going for now, and then once we found out what the findings of the study, make a decision as to putting in something to push them offshore.
To be able to get this job, we could offer some sort of cooperative
agreement, this contract. So we are going to option A.
It's a modified option.
Yeah, it's modified, which means it's A with capitals.
Because I'm bending over backwards here.
Can I offer to take another car?
It's more than I think we would have combined A and C together.
Definitely having a C.
Yes. And
with the understanding that C could lead us to change the idea of the subsidy, the level of subsidy.
And of course, as the environmental ministry, I want the planner and the committee also to look at the supply chain and the social responsibility of that.
We're not going to get there.
I thought we came out of that pretty well, really.
We probably find we've answered most of the issues that they bring up.
The wind industry presses for an onshore test center designed to accommodate large, greater than 6 megawatts, wind turbines. The climate minister and environment minister jointly decide to locate the test center in an environmentally sensitive nature area.
Where I have a house.
The options are push through a special legislative measure that overrides existing planning and environmental law, granting permission to build without the normal IAIA review process.
An exemption.
That's one you like is important. Look for alternative sites that are closer to urbanized areas. Proceed with the normal planning process with very high risk that significant noise and visual pollution will be revealed in the IAIA review, which will remix the subsidies. And then, of course, an amalgamation. Some new options.
So the options are exemption or test site.
I imagine it's onshore.
And I know that it makes a lot of service. It makes a lot of service. Oh, what did you use PR?
So the second one, you're curing me, or my group, by moving the turbines offshore, right?
Selection, we have sites for selection. Perhaps you could do an assessment of the recreative and multiple purposes of use of areas and multi-criteria analysis.
Yeah, but in this case, they said that around
One is
8 side is almost the potential side and also have the effect to the community.
advertising,
Public relations.
public relations. Secondly, is just
One is
agree with
chuck
it
them
and
offshore.
just go leave it offshore. Okay. My view on this is turbine manufacturers. I can manufacture turbines onshore. I can also manufacture turbines offshore. Clearly, as stated very early on, it's much cheaper to develop a turbine onshore. Doesn't necessarily correct is that you pay for the choice I make. Constantly, electricity that is generated by onshore offshore is reflected in the cost cheaper. Ultimately, I would like to invite you into this choice.
I'm all in favor of the far offshore because I'm only going to pay a fraction of the increased cost while I'll receive all of the benefit of not having the turbines sticking out.
Why do you say you only have to pay a fraction? Is that because it's shared?
Because it's shared amongst all electrical
Agreed.
users. Right? Well, otherwise, I'm wearing 100% of the noise and
So
reduces
if I went forward then with a public campaign or to get consensus,
Do you agree that everyone will just quite happy to accept that marginal increased cost? Because if that's the case, we're very happy to negotiate.
Just informing us, we need a debate, we need a cost-benefit analysis.
With due respect, if I can get agreement that people are going to accept higher costs for moving offshore, I would just prefer to do that 100%.
As homeowners, I'm not too concerned about the effect of low-level vibration complaints, for example.
No, but you will have to pay the cost of the fact that it's going to cost me more in terms of health and safety risk, seed time, just to construct them. So it is, at the moment, it's probably about twice the cost to do that, which gets shared amongst everyone else, but the reality is it will be twice the cost. However, as soon as I produce at least 20, the cost will go right down.
Rather have half of the disadvantage now.
As soon as I get that, I'm sorry, I don't need a workshop, I don't have consensus. You and I, here you go.
Go to a informed decision making, which would be a cost-benefit analysis. You have an economic agenda, we have a social environmental agenda that we need to put on the table.
Well, I'm also factoring into my additional costs the cost of doing proper surveys and protecting the environment. Plus the additional time it takes because most people don't understand the environmental stuff, so it's a much more consultation, much more consenting. I've already factored that in to ultimately the cost of the homeowner. So ultimately, if that means... Well, it's still a common, it's an in-between because I'm not just going to go ahead with a PR campaign. But I'm also not going to indulge. Yeah.
So it can be offered like you can make a greener area, like producing parks, and maybe a bit of the taxes.
I would if there was no agreement on the additional cost. However, if straight away, if the homeowner and you're representing everybody, straight away accepts paying twice as much of their energy to have it offshore, why do we need to go through this?
Because you can go, you take the money and you can redirect it, and they feel happy because you are putting something inside, even if they don't want it.
Well, we have 10 selection alternatives, and our houses are going to be...
I'm sorry, you're actually making a problem for me now.
Excuse me, I have a point right now.
You want
economic power.
No,
the social aspects. Our houses are going to be undervalued because of this noise. I have my own economic agenda also. My house is going to be at least worthy. Yes, lots of noise around my summer house.
I think for this guy, for the community, they assume that they move the wind farms to the offshore. So we gonna pay for the electricity price will be higher than onshore. So I think that the government also the partner start to comply, and then the community will know that
energy production.
if they don't pay, okay, we will move to the offshore.
To calm down the cities.
Can't we just
not necessarily
tax the shale oil
energy
production enough to pay for more but an increased tax on the stuff we don't want means we can promote the stuff that we want in the way we want. We've come up with something behind your back. I take industry silence as consent. So let's be curious now. The increased money we're getting from shale oil. We could place an additional tax burden on them to pay for the mitigation of technologies that we like in principle. We just don't want anywhere near.
So, oh my God, Mr. Homeowner, are you starting to think strategically about beneficiation?
I'm thinking strategically of getting those things as far away from my backyard as I can get them. And if the tax on the reverse subsidy for fossil fuels is required to support it,
and you like that?
Can the wind industry support that?
Well, exactly. I mean, as I said to you, I need a commission of at least 100 turbines before I can make the prices go down. But give me that break.
The money's on the back of the big shale.
Give me that break, man. Line up. Yeah. So trying to look at some sort of policy and subsidies and feed-in tariffs and everything is basically your role. Are you supportive of this?
Yes.
Yes? And I'm sure you can see that's a really good plan for the environment.
For the renewable technology, normally we have some additional incentives.
And obviously,
How
as
they
an
do offshore.
environmentalist, you really want to make sure that all the offshore environment is really well protected.
Yeah, we need to set some standards and have the community to participate on what's admissible.
Exactly.
We want.
So I already have worked out
And
that
as long as the community is happy, I mean that's our foremost concern to keep our voters happy. So yeah.
and meeting international rules and regulations. But I'll repeat for the third time, it will double your excellent. It's a deal.
In Scotland, I'm not too. I'm worried about the half value of my house, not the little extra bit that I pay.
Okay.
I still worry that
We're going to wrap up in about 10 minutes, so if you guys are
One more.
It's also doubling the profit of the company.
No.
Social.
in order to get out of here, we have to talk
We don't get payback for fees.
I'm making real.
We do not take payback.
Dus you are paying.
Yes, I do pay.
You pay more, but yours is
Yeah, but it's much more.
Sure, let's go to the next one.
One more. Off you go. Come on.
Okay.
there's a new scenario.
Government decides to completely abandon the idea of wind power and go on with it. Birds in effect. The media uncover evidence that wind turbines are having adverse effects on threatened bird populations in the area.
Bad design.
If nothing's done, the EU will step in to enforce measures to reduce bird deaths. Options. 1. Work with environmental NGOs, local authorities, turbine manufacturers, and national government to try to find methods to lower bird death.
Yes.
2. Do nothing and let the issue go to the EU level, trusting that the Commission will not choose birds over economic growth and the security of energy supply. C. Players decide. So, 1 is all work together, fix bird problem.
Where is the chance to find
B. Let them go for bird problem.
Minister for the Environment had a point.
yes,
Actually,
like they are important?
Well, I think the local community should be able to address these issues, but if we cannot arrive to a concept, maybe we should get the European Union to bring up some solution if we cannot solve it.
For an environmental organization, you're pretty okay with a lot of dead birds.
so how much are they paying you?
Yeah, because
How much am I paying you?
Well, birds, they sing, they.
Yeah, you're leaving it behind the pipe.
That's priceless.
for me, I'm a ministry of environment, so I'm not only concerned about the local people, but all the diversity that we affect by this project. As I want to mention that the previous time that, for example, if we move to the offshore, how the bird and the fishery or some diversity in the we affect to this project or not? Yeah. So, as your experience, what will
I have already got a
affect?
PR campaign right now and outraged. This is obviously really poor design. I know. I have my turbines. I have.
That's your turn.
No, I have my turbines in 15 countries in the world, and they do not cause this problem. Whoever designs the array and positions them, and whoever does the impact assessment statement is just not doing their job properly.
So
I am urging you, Minister for the Environment, to actually get proper somebody, get consultants, because this is giving me a really bad name. This is outrageous.
No, that's not
let's
okay.
go to
The company is over.
No.
No, avoid.
No, that's trying to push that it's okay.
It's not
This is saying work
respecting
together to get
a
it
list
right. I
agenda
want
for
better
the
standards in this
biodiversity.
country
Are you okay with
for
this?
proper.
Yeah, but it has to be a balance.
I will
You
enter
don't just
with
look at biodiversity. What about
You was turbine manufacturer.
I produce turbines.
That's all reflects on biodiversity in Europe. It's birds.
Too many more birds anyway. I think my home would pay money.
Yes, this is why my ministry are concerned that not only the community, but also the other.
This is giving me a bad reputation. I am outraged.
So we try to minimize the effects on local people by safe
And does it happen that is the option?
also. And then now, in the example,
already planned.
affecting sometimes the sea, right? So why we have
bird
find
across the ocean. Yeah, very close to the shore. I don't think
But I think we can work together to come to an amicable
Exactly.
solution.
I want
Quite
better
simply.
I don't know. I think I will just ask the European
Why are you
Union.
calling
It's
for
all
better
wrong.
standards? You making
It's
them.
all
No,
wrong.
it's got nothing to do with me. My turbines have had nothing to do with this problem. It's how they fly together. It's how it's planned. I think we should use lessons learned in other countries to show how to get better standards for turbine wind farm design.
Let's not use this.
I'm sorry, I don't know how much I'm paying you, but you're not doing the right job by me right now. My reputation's at stake here. It's got nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with the manufacturers, how they're all placed, and
Do you want
thinking about
energy for what? For keeping your hot tub or your bathroom? And what about birds? What about birds to get?
Hey, let's work together to get this better. Yeah.